how to properly bathe your horse, at least casually bathe. This isn't my normal show bathing, like when I'm going to a show. This is more or less like when it's really hot out or he's just really muddy from rolling in the pasture and all of that. And this is how I normally cool him down and just wash him off, get all those grass stains out and all that good stuff. So I usually start out just by rinsing him off with some water and just getting his fur really soaked in and good, because, you know, we got to lift all that dirt up and off of him. So we're just hosing him down with some water right now, and he's totally loving it, as he flicks his head. But, yep, and then I just go in and I hose his tail down, get everything just super, super wet. Sometimes he loves it. Sometimes he's just like, Mom, leave me alone. I don't want any more water on me. So yeah, we're just hosing him down, pretty basic. And then I go in and I have the mane and tail moisturizing shampoo. So it's a little bit different than the normal mane and tail. This one has moisture in it, well, moisturizing. So it's it's like a 2-in-1. It's like conditioner and shampoo, and it's really cheap. I bought the bottle at Walmart. And I take it and I put it all over him and scrub it in with my hands. Oh, he shook and got it in my face. And then I take my oyster hard brush curry, and I put a little bit of the soap on the curry and then scrub them in really good and get all those grass stains and dirt out and all that good stuff. And then how I go in with the shampoo to make sure that I don't use too much is I just do a little line across the top of his back, and then I brush it and scrub it all the way down throughout his stomach and his legs. And then, and now I'm just scrubbing him and getting him all good. And he actually, last week, it was pretty rough. He had gotten some rain rot on his back, so I'm just trying to avoid the top of his back right by his withers. Later on, I'm going to put some spray on it with some essential oils, just to help speed up the healing process, because I haven't been able to ride him with this going on. But yep, and then we're just gonna rinse off the brushes and moving him over. And then I usually rinse off the soap. Usually when I first put the water on him, after the water not being on him, he likes to move around a little bit, so I try to be patient. Patience is key, you guys, especially if you're a new horse owner. It really is just all on being patient. And so we just rinse the soap off and give him lots of praises and rewards, because a lot of new horses, if you're giving them a bath for the first time, they'll be a little freaked out by it. They'll be like, what's going on, you know? And you just got to give them lots of encouragement and lots of reassurance. And actually, I'm going to show you guys, this is one big thing, is a lot of people have a hard time having their horses let the water hit their face, because they don't really like the water touching their face that much. So what I did was this is me showing you how I go in and I brush off all the hair. I brush off all the loose hair, because he was shedding out really bad. This was right before all that warm weather hit. So we just brush all the loose dandruff and hair after we bathe him. And then this is me praising him.
Good boy.
So you can watch that.
Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy, Baba. Good boy.
But yeah, as you can see, I just made sure to give him lots of praises and reassurance, because, I mean, if you're a horse, and the horses are very sensitive to those things, so the water spraying at his face is a little freaky, you know? And he's been doing it for a while now, so he doesn't throw that much of a fit. But if it's your first time putting water on his face, just cautiously go up with the water. Always start on the neck. Never spray directly right at the face, because it will freak them out. And just give them lots and lots of praises. So now I'm just doing the same thing on the other side, doing the line of soap with the scrubby and just scrubbing all the way down, getting, I was scrubbing the mud off of his bridle, and then just scrubbing his back and getting all that good stuff. Yep, so now we're just rinsing off his legs, and I usually go in and scrub his legs with the mane and tail too. And sometimes, especially when I'm during show season, if you have a horse with white legs, if you use Dawn dish soap and just like a drop of Dawn dish soap on each foot, and then take a hard brush curry and scrub them really hard, which is what I'm doing, but I'm just using the mane and tail instead of the Dawn dish soap. It will get any loose dirt off and just make their socks look really white, especially if you let the soap sit on their legs for a couple minutes after you scrubbed it, before you rinse it off. But yeah, that's basically what I'm doing, is I'm going in and scrubbing each leg with a hard brush, and I'm not like being super OCD about it because he's just gonna go right back into the pasture, into the mud. But I'm just making sure that I get most of the caked on mud off, because if that wet mud dries up on their legs, it can really hurt them because it sticks to their fur, and it can get hard, and it gets really uncomfortable and painful. So that's why I always try to bathe him at least once or twice a week, or brush the mud off. But I usually try to bathe because it kind of hurts if you brush mud off, especially if it's caked on and if you have a muddy pasture like me. But yep, now we're just going in and we're rinsing off all the soap on his legs. Pretty simple. So now we're just gonna move up to his front legs and rinse those off real quick. And then we're gonna come up and rinse the rest of him off, which is pretty basic, just getting all that soap off, all that good stuff. He was actually throwing a fit a little bit at the start of it, but once we were halfway through, he was really licking his lips and just loving the cool water, because he realized, oh my goodness, Mom, this feels good. But yes, because it was a very hot day. I think that day was like 90 or something. It was right when because I live in Michigan, and if y'all know, the Michigan weather changes very fast. So right here, I'm just spraying underneath, like right by, in between his back legs, and just making sure all that's cleaned up. And then we're getting the top of him, and I was talking to my little brother. So now is the tail, and this is my most fun part. Oh, this is Roxy. This is the new horse that Jacob just got. Now we're just rinsing off his tail, and he has a thick tail. And let me tell you, his tail was not this thick until I started using these essential oils, which I will show you in a minute. And let me tell you, I've used them in my hair, I've used them in my horse's hair, and they're amazing. Also, peep Jacob's adorable muck boots, and he just looks so cute with his horse. He just came over to say hi and untack and get all of his stuff, and now he's going to go put her back in the pasture. But yep, I'm just going in and putting that spray on his wound that I was talking about, because he had that rain rot, which really, really stinked. So we're just using that spray, and that's a mix of some essential oils. And now we're putting in some rosemary essential oil into his tail, and that is what I use on my hair. I use it in my shampoo. I use it in my horse's shampoo. I put a drop on my hand, just a drop, and I just brush it throughout the tail. And usually I'll put some sort of conditioner in, but today I just kind of let his tail be, because I wasn't going to braid it up, because I try not to braid their tails up too much during the summertime, because they need their tails to swat the flies and stuff and get the flies away, especially in this hotness, you know. And those flies, they're buggers. We get those big old horse flies. But now we're just rinsing it out and brushing and just doing all that basic stuff. His tail, it's just, I love his tail. All of my other friends, when they're showing, they have to use tail extensions, and I am so blessed with this horse, because his tail would look weird with extensions in, because of how long it is. I think I use that little, I think it's like, I can't remember the name of it. It's a rainbow colored, like mane and tail brush that I got at Tractor Supply, and it's got all the little grooves in it, so it really untangles very fast, and I love it. And with how thick his tail is, it is a pain to brush it all out. I actually have to brush it in sections. So if your horse has a thick tail, or even if it has a thin tail and you're worried about it splitting, always brush it in sections, because you want to avoid ripping out the hair. I always do little, like 3 sections. So I'll pull the tail into 3 sections and brush out each section, and then I'll brush it all together. So now we're just going in and rinsing it out. Obviously, he's very tired and he just wants to go into pasture with all of his friends, especially because Roxy was right there with Jacob, and they just left and they went up to the front pasture. So I'm just being very patient, just brushing it out. We're almost done. So he's being such a good boy. I am so proud of him. So yeah, now I think I'm brushing his forelock. I can't really see what I'm doing from this direction, but I usually put the essential oils in his forelock too and brush that out, because his forelock I also want to grow a little bit longer, and you know, long hair, it looks better, except for his mane. I usually band his mane. He had a long mane for the longest time, and then finally I just cut it short for banding because it was easier to band it for shows. Instead of banding a long mane. But if you have the patience to band a long mane, do it, because it looks so gorgeous on a horse. Honestly, I think long manes look so much better. With me and showing with Scully and 4-H, it was just easier during the fair week for me to keep his mane banded and short, because then I could just put it in at the start of the week and then keep a sleazy on him. And yep, so now we're just putting those essential oils in his forelock and giving him some loves and some kisses, because he is just adorable. Look at that cutie. He's so cute. Oh, I love him. He's the best. He really is. Every horse I've owned, I love him so much. I will never get rid of him. I could never. But yep, and so just giving him tons of loves, telling him he's a good boy, and all that good stuff. So now we're just brushing out the rest of the tail, and I'm going to come in and rinse out all the soap. And yeah, so we're just rinsing out all the soap. So yeah, like I said, we're just going in with the hose and just rinsing all that soap out and the essential oils that were in the soap. I usually put like a drop or 2 drop in every shampoo bottle that I get for them, and the conditioner bottles. My favorite oils to use is the rosemary, just because it helps with hair growth, but you can use so many other things. You can put coconut oil in their mane. Sometimes I will put coconut oil, well, most of the time I'll put coconut oil in his mane, and just his mane and his tail, and braid it all up, and that really helps. It's like a conditioning treatment. Like, you know how us girls, we do our face masks and our hair conditioning treatments and stuff. Well, horses need that stuff too. They need to, well, they're not in the wild, you know, and they're our pets, so we need to take care of them. So yeah, I'm going in with the rosemary essential oil, just a little drop, and then putting that on his tail. I put quite a bit, honestly, because I wasn't planning on bathing him for quite a while because of the rain. It had been very rainy and muddy, and just yeah, mostly got all the mud off. But you guys, just let me know, what type of videos would you guys be interested in me posting and uploading? What are you guys interested in knowing about horses? Would you guys like riding videos? I am open to anything. But yep, we're just gonna unhook him, and I always use a quick release when I'm bathing him, because we have had some freak accidents, and I always want to have that, you know, quick in case something bad happens, just to be able to release that and let him go so he doesn't hurt himself. So we're just gonna walk him out to the pasture and let him be free with his friends. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.